Hey, what's up, you guys? We're the 2019 Home and Garden Show. I'm hosting the design panel. Follow me in. You can't tell who this is. My #1 fan, my mom. You know, you can see the resemblance. She's gonna be in here, episode 5. Stanley Guest. She thinks he's the original LifeSTYLest. If you ask her, she's the original, but I get some of it from her, I'll admit. But she's here for the show. You know, gotta have the moms in the video.
If you don't know the LifeSTYLest Brandon Gaston, you soon will. And please follow him on all of his Instagram and Facebook. He is a local celebrity, and I expect to see him on a television network sometime soon. I think you all will.
As Rachel mentioned, this is kind of a new concept. We've always talked about design, and I was telling people, you know, they know me as fashion stylist. They were like, you're gonna be at the Home and Garden Show. And they gave me like this weird look. And what I always talk about within design is design, and I get so much inspiration from interior design, and a lot of the trends overlap within the colors and the fabrics and textures. And so we thought, what would be a great way for us to combine all our different industries, talk about the 2019 trends, what we're seeing, what we like to see go away, always, what we hope will stay, and then kind of give you guys an idea of what we're seeing in our industry and how you can implement it with whatever you guys do, whether it's home, fashion, or whatever. So let's get started. So we know coral is the Pantone color of the year. Well, what are some other trends that are big, trends or designs in 2019 that you're seeing?
Well, if we're talking color, you know, I mean, I just came back from the furniture market in Las Vegas and was seeing a lot of really gorgeous pinks and corals, and so it's coming off of that Pantone color of the year. But they all sort of have this sort of salmon, that's maybe a little bit of yellow in those colors. That's really softening it and keeping it warm. It's not baby pinks and baby orange. It's more sophisticated colors that I think are really blending well with a lot of different styles, and we can go into that too, but I don't want to segue into something too soon.
Yeah, you know, stick with color. And then we have a surprise. We have a 4th expert panelist, and so I'd like to introduce him as he arrives. He just got here, Russ Wahlberg. What are some of the trends you're seeing for 2019 as far as in regards to landscape architecture and how we what are you seeing?
A lot of what I see now is essentially the transition from the indoors to the outdoors. A lot of what is going on anymore is having that flow and having that continuity between spaces. Because a lot of yards and a lot of homes are sometimes being a little bit more limited in size, we need to have multi-purpose spaces.
I say this is probably the time where you're seeing, you can do anything, right? You're seeing blush tones, you're seeing bright tones. On the runway, you're seeing a lot of neon. So fluorescent colors, you're thinking yellows, highlighters, oranges. Yellow of all colors is very popular. I love mustard, as you can tell, which is a really big fall color. Red is a big color in fashion. But then at the same time, on the flip side, you're seeing a lot of monochromatic outfits. People are wearing a lot of whites, a lot of taupe, a lot of dusky beiges. So you really can do whatever you kind of like, which is a good thing. But kind of touched on it, and I was going to say is, what are you seeing some future trends? You go to the shows, you see what's coming out maybe in a year and a half down the line. What are some trends you're expecting to see maybe in 2020 that we aren't seeing right now?
We're starting to see a lot, especially in the fabric and the textiles, and that crosses right over into wallpaper. We're seeing a lot of metallic, a lot of silver gold together, separately. And probably the biggest trend that I see coming, and I love, but most people kind of go, black. I live in it, so I love it. Black bathrooms, black kitchens, black houses, black wallpaper. Yeah. So a lot of black. I'm super excited about that.
Well, I was also going to mention in regards to kind of those color trends, there's a lot of contrast that we try to do. And with that contrast, obviously using colors that are harmonious together and sometimes even aligned within the color wheel. For example, if you're looking at a layout of a landscape, a lot of times I use like a chartreuse and a purple in adjacent areas because they contrast so well and they kind of create that feel. And kind of going back to the black element, I'm seeing a lot of being able to create those contrasts using that black. And then with kind of the idea with the furniture being maybe a lighter color, you're creating that contrast that is very, I guess, eye-popping.
And that's a great point, because I know when I'm people know, I love color. And when I'm shopping with clients, one of my biggest things is don't wear black, right? Don't wear black because everyone wears black is black is black is black. But to your point, I say if you're gonna wear black, you need to mix it up with textures, right? So we'll have a silk and a wool because that differentiation allows you to get enough contrast so you aren't just washing yourself out. One of the things within fashion, of course, our shows are 6 months ahead of time. So like in February, we just had the Autumn Winter 19 fashion shows. So we're seeing a shift from the lighter spring colors to the darker purples, to the darker tan. Again, not as much colors, but again, very monochromatic. So you're seeing, men wear purple suits from top to bottom, black from top to bottom, camel from top to bottom. And so we're seeing color, also patterns, in fashion, everything is okay, whether we're talking about snake skin, we're talking about leopard print, tiger print, whatever kind of print you indulge in, you can wear, and that's across both genders. So we're seeing a lot of that, and I want to touch on next. Dressing with clients, and I imagine interior design, landscape design, right? We aren't just styling them for the present day, we're just dressing them up, we're designing them for years in advance. So how do you incorporate trends, which sometimes seem taboo, versus classics? How do you deal with clients in that, and how do you kind of design in that regard?
When I talk to my clients and I find out how long are they going to be living in that home, for starters, so that if they want to make a commitment to coral, let's say, if they're going to be there for 10 plus years, I would say, okay, let's do this. But if they're planning to move in a couple to 5 years, I might advise them to just let's do some neutral pieces, and then let's punch it up with some accessories and artwork. Artwork can be a great way to bring in color. You can have a completely white room, and then you bring in a piece of art that has multiple colors in it, and you've just changed it completely. There's ways of tempering their exuberance to make everything coral. Or whatever color they want without going too crazy, and then that will allow them to sort of segue into other design trends along the way.
Come on, people's here. So I'm here with the other panelists from the design show, Michael, Wendy. They sing you. Look at the shirt, episode 1.
Okay, for real. Now tell me, do I look like I'm wearing my bathrobe? Because I kind of feel like I do.
Go back in, Nest. We're talking about Nest.
So we're the trade showroom for interior designers here in Portland, Oregon.
And then Wendy, Sweet of Dreams, interior designer extraordinaire.
Yes, interior design and architectural design. We do exteriors as well, so run the gamut of design. Yeah.
Award winners. I just hang around these people. They make me look better.
And he makes us look better.
Yeah, and he makes us.
I try. They make my job easy. You guys, what's up? We just wrapped up the Design Panel 2019 Home and Garden Show. It was amazing. The panelists were amazing. This is great. I started with the HBA. They're now one of the biggest supporters, biggest clients. We're here. We're going to do more of these. Hope you enjoy it. Subscribe. Wait till the next episode.
So 3. Michael, get closer.
Do you want it?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, 3, 2, 1.